Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome everyone. Today is 6th August 2024, Tuesday morning session. So we gathered here to discuss on this chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so just to recap what we have studied before. So chapter 1 is setting the scene. Okay, Krishna has set the scene. In that situation, the two parties gathered, prepared to fight, and Arjuna tells Krishna, please take the chariot and bring it right in the middle, and let me see who is there to fight with me. Okay, so what Krishna tactfully does, he straight away bring the chariot and park right in front of Dronacharya and Bhishma Deva. So when he start to see that his grandfather and his guru, teacher, was there ready to fight, he became heartbroken. He went into severe depression, thinking of the consequences of killing them, which is sinful, killing all the kinsmen, because all those who gathered there is all their family members, right? So to kill them is a distracting family tradition. Then he says it's no point fighting, no enjoyment, because when you want to fight the war, I mean, say if you want to enjoy something, if you have some kind of festival, you must have your family members with you. You know, say like if you celebrate your birthday, you must have people around you. You cannot celebrate yourself and cut the cake yourself, right? So in Tamil we call nalladhu kettadhu. Anything that we need people around us. So now Arjuna saw that all these people, all his family members, cousins, uncles, all there ready to fight. So he's thinking it's not worth fighting. Okay, he was so compassionate. And of course, so that was the four main reasons that we have studied in chapter 1. And after that, Arjuna becomes very depressed and says it's not going to fight. So what are the reasons he said? He said he wants to become a yogi. He wants to be a renunciate. He wants to be a beggar. He started to give a lot of excuses. Okay. Until he was so depressed, he started to feel his skin is burning. The mouth is drying up. And what they call the leg is twitching, and he couldn't speak. The word is like he become like speechless. So all these kind of symptoms of being very depressed, the severe depression, he start to portray. Then we go to chapter 2. Chapter 2 is contents of Gita summarized. In that chapter 2, Krishna will be asking how these impurities came upon you. You speak like a very educated man, but why you're talking like this? It's not befitting a person who knows the Dharma. Okay, because you are a Kshatriya, you have to fight. You cannot say, oh, I'm not going to fight. Okay, at that moment, then Arjuna will be telling, so I don't know which is to do, fight and win the war, and not to fight, because I don't see any good in it. So on the 5th reason was given in chapter 2 that Arjuna couldn't make a decision. Then after that, Krishna started to speak on. He started to summarize what are the things. Then after that, we went to chapter 3. Chapter 3 is Karma Yoga. So Krishna is saying how you should work without being attached to the result. Okay, that is a fantastic way of we what they call to live a life without stress-free life, without expectation. So in Karma Yoga, we understand, but one thing that you all should know, in Karma Yoga, we are not, when we start to apply this Karma Yoga, we are not say that we are becoming, we are not becoming irresponsible. Okay, we are not becoming irresponsible. But what Krishna says, whatever things that you do, offer it to the Lord. Do it as a sacrifice. And do your job, and without expecting any result. So one of the analogy that I gave that day was like how when we offer food to Krishna, okay, because we in Hare Krishna, we don't eat directly. We cook the food nicely. We offer it to the Lord, then we eat. So that means, how we offer to the food to the Lord, we don't bring the entire pot from the kitchen and put it in front of the Lord and offer. We just take a small portion, offer it to the Lord with full of love and care, love and affection. And after that, we take the remnants as prasadam. Prasadam means sanctified, purified, blessed. All right. So we take that. So similarly, in Karma Yoga, what we understood from this thing, analogy, Say like, for instance, you can be any background. You can be from any background. That means you can do many kind of jobs. Okay, the example I gave, say if you're a teacher, okay, you get up early in the morning, you go to school, you teach them. All right, after you do your teaching, then you come back home. So is that bhakti yoga? Is that devotional service? Right? It's not, because you're not teaching, you're teaching something which is not related to bhakti. But at the end of the day, when you get your salary, you take a small portion of your salary and offer as a sacrifice to Krishna or Vishnu. How example, say like you can get some Bhagavad Gita, or you can give donation to distribute Bhagavad Gita. That means you're using your money to engage in devotional service. So what happened? Your entire income becomes sanctified and become blessed. Or in other words, the job that you're doing as a teacher, which is not related to bhakti, it becomes devotional service. All right. So that's what so that's a conclusion that we have understood in chapter 3. So today we are going into chapter 4. After Krishna described bhakti yoga, now he is coming to transcendental knowledge. Okay. So in chapter 4, the title is transcendental knowledge, Jnana Yoga. First, he spoke about Karma Yoga. Second, he spoke about, now what we're going to understand is Jnana Yoga, transcendental knowledge. Okay, like this, we're going to study one by one yoga until we come to the ultimate yoga we called as Bhakti Yoga. Okay, so before we start, let's do our invocation. The invocation means that we are in Tamil we call Mangala Charan. Mangala Charan means Mangal means Mangalam. Saranam, Mangala Saranam. So that means we are creating this prayer, invoking blessings from our Guru and a previous Acharya, and also to Sri Krishna, praying and asking and seeking their blessing, so that our attempt to study Bhagavad Gita today will become successful. Because it is said in Gita Mahatmya. Okay, the book is downstairs. All right. They say, even if you chant, I mean, one entire sloka, you get a lot of benefit. Even if you just say half, or even you just say one word in that sloka, you can achieve all the sins as big as Mount Meru can be destroyed at once. Why is like that? Because we must understand, Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna himself. Krishna is omnipotent, omniscient. Omnipotent means, that means Krishna, his ornament, his pastime, his name, everything is identical. But here we have separation. Say like what I'm speaking and who am I and my dress is all separate entity. Okay. Example, when I listen back to my recording, you know, we have a YouTube channel, we go back. When I listen to the recording, I'll be thinking, hey, did I speak that? That means, in other words, what? The word that I'm speaking and who am I is totally different. Okay. So there is two things. What is in Vaikuntha Loka, in spiritual world, in Goloka, there's no duality. No, there's no duality. But in this material world, there is duality. What is the duality? Like cold and heat, heat and cold, happiness, distress. Okay. So all there's a duality. So that means even in our person also we have duality. But in Goloka Vrindavan, in Vaikuntha Loka, there's no duality. When you see Krishna, we see his name, his attribute, everything is, there's no duality, that's equal. Okay. That's why when we chant Hare Krishna, we are actually chanting, we are calling upon the name of Krishna. Krishna means the most attractive one. Rama means the reservoir of pleasure, the one who keeps, he got a big dam. Okay, the big dam, like what they call in Malay, empangan. Yes, empangan. We have huge empangan full of nectar that he wants to give it to you. That's Rama. Okay, Rama. Or in other words, we call Abhirama. Abhirama means the one who has the reservoir full of nectar for us to enjoy. Okay, so we are invoking that. We are saying, oh, the most attractive one, the one who have a reservoir full of pleasure. That's what we all want, right? We all are working hard, we all struggling hard. Because what? We want to have pleasure. But in this place, where do we look for a pleasure? We make some money, we like to go to Ooty, Simla, Switzerland. We like to go to Cameron Highland, Genting Highland. We want to go there to enjoy beauty, scenic kind of place. Because to look at beauty, it is the natural attraction of a human being. So that is why nowadays they are manipulating this very beautiful woman and they put them in a very skimpy dress and they put there as an advertisement model. All right. So when we see that advertisement, what we see first? Hey, who's that girl? Wow. Then only down there we see Lux soap. They used to call Aishwarya Rai. I mean, what is this she got to do? She'll be bathing, she'll be putting the soap. Wow, who's this? Then end of the day down there, oh, Lux soap. That means we start to think Lux soap is equal to Aishwarya Rai. So that is so it is very natural for a man, for a human to be attracted to beautiful things. So now when we chant this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we are invoking the ultimate, the supreme beauty, Sri Krishna. At the same time, that owns that who has the reservoir of pleasure, Abhirama, and that is also called as Radharani, because she's the one who keeps all the pleasure potency. All right. Then we chant the word Hare. What does Hare means? Hare means Ladini Shakti. Ladini Shakti. Okay, Hare. So what is Hare? Why we use the word Hare? Hare means the potency in the Shakti of Krishna, the internal Shakti of Krishna. So we all have Shakti, we all have strength, correct or not? So what is our strength? Okay, what is that the capacity of our ability, capacity of our ability we call as, in English we call strength. Strength. Okay. Of course, in Tamil we call Shakti. Shaktiman, very healthy flow, very, you can carry heavy things. So the thing. But that same potency in Krishna we call Ladini. Hare. Okay. And what we are asking, we are praying to the internal potency of the Lord, which is so deep inside him, which is his personal attribute. And that Ladini Shakti is actually Radharani. So we are asking Mother Radharani, who controls Krishna through that Ladini Shakti, begging her, my dear Mother Radha, kindly engage me in the service of this most beautiful person called Krishna, the most attractive. At the same time, we also begging to get a drop of nectar from the reservoir of pleasure by invoking Radharani. That's why we call Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sometimes when we go to Thaipusam and we see these fellows who are dancing, we call them hooligan. Yes or not? When they play the music, they'll dance. But what we call them? Hooligan or Katijadi. Ram, do you like to dance on Thaipusam? I mean, I'm not saying anything. I'm just giving an example. Sometimes I'm not sure how in KL, but in Ipoh, the way they dance, terrible. All right? We call them hooligan. Why are they dancing like a hooligan? All right? But at the same time, when people start to play a mridanga and kartal, jalra, and they sing Hare Krishna, nobody cannot at least shake the body. All right? So not everybody just can come, oh, look at this floor. Like in Thai, say, look at this floor, all dancing like hooligan. But when we see Radha Yatra festival and everything, people just cannot call these people hooligan or stay away, like tie the hand and stand, cannot. They will some or other clap, some or other will give a big smile, right? And some or other they'll be like shaking the head or shaking the leg, whatever it is, the sensation of dancing will come in them. Why? Because this Maha Mantra will go deep into the core and will release your constitutional position. Our constitutional position is the servant of Krishna. It starts to invoke that feeling. All right. That's why when we see that Hare Krishna group, when they go around the world, when they start to have kirtan, dancing on the street, everybody, you can even go to the YouTube and you can see, street kirtan. They'll be just simply dancing. They just simply will be chanting Hare Krishna. And they just keep walking. On the left and right, people will be just dancing. Why? They don't know what is the meaning of the mantra. They don't know what is it all about. And of course, they also don't use this kind of sophisticated music like drum, Gita, and all these things. Just mridanga and kartal. Right? But people can dance. Because that is what this Maha Mantra is all about. Okay? So now in this chapter, we will be learning how we're going to tap into that. Step one. Step one, we have studied about karma. And today we're going to talk about dhyana yoga. Okay, Divya Jan, no, transcendental knowledge. Yes. Yes, Ram.
Sir, can record the class, sir?
Yeah, it's recording.
Oh, recording. Oh, okay.
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 It's recording. Okay. So how this thing, okay, now we're going to about transcendental knowledge. Okay, what is that transcendental knowledge is all about? Okay, then followed by the next chapter is called Karma Yoga in Krishna conscious. Okay, that means combination of Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga. We'll discuss these two combined, we discuss on chapter 5. Okay, so that's the thing. So today, what are the things that we're going to learn is basically how to start our journey into Bhakti Yoga. What is the steps? Okay, what is the steps? And of course, here also we're going to discuss why Bhagavad Gita is important. Did Bhagavad Gita just appear 5,000 years ago, or was it spoken before? Okay, and also we're also going to see what is that ultimate goal of studying the Vedas, how many types of Vedas, and what is their division. All these topics we're going to cover today, of course, in essence. So what do you expect to do after this program? Please kindly go and read your chapter 4 for further nourishment. Okay, so before that, let's do our invocation prayer. We pray to Krishna, we pray to Radharani, we pray to all the acharyas for being so merciful that they presented this thing. Okay, because it's a desire of Bhakti Vinod Thakur 100 over years ago, that one day he had a dream that a day will come, all the people around the world going to sing and glorify the name of Krishna. He had a vision. The people from Russia, the people from Germany will come to Navadvip, Mayapur, will be all dressed in a Vedic cloth like dhoti and sari. All will be chanting and singing and dancing with the name of the Lord. He had that vision. Then that's when he started to realize now is the time. So he started to translate all the books into English. Okay, then after that, his son Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati was encouraging all the disciples to go and try their luck to preach in the West. And eventually Prabhupada came and he just told him to see. And that means we are talking about more than 100 years of meditation, more than 100 years of, in Tamil we call it davam. Okay, and this is also predicted many years ago, 1,000 years ago, by Srila Ramanujacharya. One day suddenly he'll be just looking at the sky and he will be start laughing. He'll be just suddenly start laughing, and everybody's why laughing. A day will come, there'll be a group of Vaishnavas will come with such a small tilak like this, tiny tilak like this, and they'll be going to the street and sing this Maha Mantra, sing the Harinam, that going to make Yamaraj jobless. All right, so this kind of so many predictions happen that in Kali Yuga all these things will happen. And of course all this also we're going to study in Bhagavad Gita, especially when you come to the chapter universal form. When you come to the universal form, we're also going to read, we're going to study how the Bhagavad Gita predicted 5,000 years ago, all these things going to happen. Okay, so without further ado, let's hold our hand, close our eyes, and just show our gratitude to those people who have encouraged you to sign up for this course, or the one who have inspired you to read Bhagavad Gita, and of course to all the gurus and Krishna, so that today's course, today's our discussion will be more nourishing and more satisfying to our soul, and also purifies our intelligence and give us clarity in thinking. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapidamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagarajadam Shahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savaduta Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vidamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Jaya Pataka Swami Niti Namine Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaura Kadadamadaya Nagara Gramatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasarchya Desatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaye Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryojvala Premadya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupa Nuga Viruda Pasidanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padam Bhujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumestvam Nidasa Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarobhauma Sri Jagannatayate Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubevacha Paditanam Pavenebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Shadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nasta Prayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Hari Om Tat Sat. Just give me a second. Okay. You all can see the slide.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So today we're going to continue with chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita. So let's dedicate our program today to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We pray to at His lotus feet that all our attempt will become successful today, and we'll understand the subject matter and also inspire us to study and make Bhagavad Gita as our lifestyle. And this program was inspired by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, who is also my spiritual master. He is the governing body commission and also spiritual master. I was in charge of this part of the world, Malaysia. And also dedicate to my very dear God brother and friend, His Grace Anadi Jagannath Prabhu of Bengaluru, ISKCON Sheshadipuram, who left his body a few years ago. He is the creator and brainchild of the essence of the Gita Gyan program worldwide. Even though that he left, but still his glories remain, and he always lives in this program, Gita Gyan. May he inspire us. Now, let's look at this. So as I said that before, when we start reading Bhagavad Gita, there is a 30 pages of introduction, which is very important. That introduction is very, very important that all of us should read at least many times. Just by reading that introduction, basically you will understand the subject matter. Okay, now let's have a brief look of this introduction, which relates to chapter 4. So, after hearing Bhagavad Gita from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna accepted Krishna as Param Brahma, or the Supreme Brahman. All right, Supreme Brahman. So every living being is Brahman. We are all Brahman. Okay, but the Supreme living being is called Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the Supreme Brahman. So what is Brahman means? Soul, Atma. Okay, the living force. So we are the minute, but here Krishna known as Supreme, Paramatma. We are Atma and they are known as Paramatma. So now, Parangdama means that he is the supreme rest or abode of everything. Okay, there's a verse called Parangdama. The name Param means supreme, all right? In other words, Dhamma means place. So he is the supreme rest or abode of everything. Pavitram. Pavitram means that he is pure. Okay, untainted by material contamination. He doesn't have any kind of material contamination. What are the contamination? Anger, lust, okay, fear, attachment. All these things are called as material contamination, which he doesn't have. Purusham means that he is the supreme enjoyer. That's why in Tamil we call the husband Purushan, because he enjoys. He sits in the house, he tell everybody do this, do that. You know, he'll be like having he's enjoying. But of course, nowadays it's quite rare to find all that. So he's an enjoyer. Okay. Shashvatam. Shashvatam means original. Divyam means transcendental. Adi Devam. Adi means supreme. Deva means God. That means supreme personality of Godhead. Ajam is unborn, and Vibhum is the greatest. So let's look at today's version of Gita, Mahatmya. This Gita Mahatmya means the glories of Bhagavad Gita, which was spoken originally by Lord Shiva in Padma Purana. So now he says, Gita su Gita kartavya kim anyai shastra vistare ya swayam padmanabhasya mukha padmatvini shrita. What he says? Gita su Gita kartavya, because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One need not read any other Vedic literature. Can you see that? Because this Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Krishna, one need not read any other Vedic literature. Why? Because Krishna is the ultimate person to be known in all the Shastras. What is that? What is the ultimate goal in studying? We are studying from kindergarten until Form 5, then until STPM, and then until go to the university. What is the ultimate goal? So we get a good job, we get good pay, we could have a good life. That is that goal. So that means what is that? And what is the purpose of studying the Vedas? There are 100 any Upanishad, Isti, Itigasas, Agamyas, 4 main Vedas, and further expansion up to 4,320 division. So huge body of knowledge. But what is that conclusion of this book? Because to know Krishna. And here in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna spoke. So that means when this is the one something that's been spoken by him, so one do not need to read any other scripture. This Bhagavad Gita is only know. And how we should read Bhagavad Gita? We need only attentive. We have to read this Gita very attentively and regularly. Okay? It is not sometime when you feel like it, you read. No, you have to make it a habit to read Bhagavad Gita at least 1 hour a day. Or at least read one chapter. One chapter is going to take around 1 hour. Okay? First, sometimes they ask, oh, but if you look at the purport, I can't make it. It's okay. First day you read the entire verses only. Second day you read the purport or whatever it is. Okay? Or you're just going to take 1 month to read one Gita or this thing. As long as you touch the Gita and you read it, study it. Okay? It is very important. Okay? In the present age, in this Kali Yuga, Okay, this present age we call as Kali Yuga. Okay, in this present age we call as Kali. Okay, we are now living in the age of Kali Yuga. Can you see the typing?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, so Kali Yuga. In this Kali Yuga, okay, so in this present age, Kali Yuga. Okay, in this Kali Yuga, what happened? People, okay, in this Kali Yuga, people are more absorbed in mundane activities. Okay, they are absorbed in activities which is not necessary. I saw it in typing once when I was young time. There'll be a group of old men, all right, they'll be sitting in a coffee shop, they'll be looking at the sky. And I was wondering, and I looked at the sky, I said, hey, what are they looking at? Then I asked one lady, I said, hey, Asu, apa dia tengok? Semua orang tengok atas, apa bikin? Tada, ini mapiu. I mean, they are gambling. I said, mapiu apa? Sini dia tengok, pukul berapa hujan mari? Huh? Really? Then I saw one floor, it says, example I give you, the rain will come at 1:01. Another fellow said, no, the rain will come at 1:17. So they put the bet, they put 10 ringgit or something like that, they start betting, and they were all looking at the sky. You know, so when the first drop, and they put something as kind of a tracing paper or something like that, when the first drop of the water touched the thing, they see who is the nearest and they win the bet. You know, I just give you a very crude example. So that means people are so absorbed in mundane activities. Okay, and they are so disturbed. Okay, now we're talking about the economy, that when you see two old people get together, they speak politics as though they know that prime minister in detail. They start to speak about politics, they start to think about economy, which is so mundane, which is not necessary. All right. Now, of course, there's a problem happening in Bangladesh and also all the things happening. And of course, now in modern age, we have this thing called gadget called like phone and everything, TikTok. TikTok is the worst thing a person can get, they call addicted to. TikTok, this Facebook, they have so much of mundane things. So for them, it is not possible to read all the Vedic literatures. They cannot read all the Vedic literature. They have no time because their mind is not the same. But this is not necessary. So what Lord Shiva is saying, that this one book, okay, Bhagavad Gita will suffice, is enough, will provide everything that you should know. Okay, because you know why? Because this book is the essence of all Vedic literature. Okay, number one is because this is the essence of all Vedic literature. All the essence. Okay, when you take one big thing, when you try to like dilute, you take the core, when you take that thick juice of it that cannot be further processed, it's called essence, right? So the essence of the entire Vedic literature is Bhagavad Gita. Reason number one. And reason number two, because it is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. First is essence. Second, because it was spoken by God himself. So that's why in Mahatmya says that we do not need to have any other book. This one book is enough. Okay. Now let's look at the Vedas. Okay. Now when you see Srila Vyasadeva, what he did, when he saw in Kali Yuga, people are very unfortunate. They don't have a long life. They are very fragile. A small hit, a person can die, So the body is becoming more and more weaker. There's no strength. So because of that, he understands that people will have forgetfulness. So what he did, he took the entire body of the Vedas, he divided into four. Okay, divided the Vedas into four. Okay, that means first he divided into Rig Veda, then Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda. After he divided the thing into four, he gave to his four principal disciples. Paila Maharishi, Vaishampayana Rishi, Jaimini Rishi, and Sumantu Muni. So he gave to all the four. So the Rig he gave to Paila, Yajurveda he gave to Vaishampayana, Samaveda he gave to Jaimini, and Atharva Veda he gave to Sumantu. So he gave to four. So what the disciples did, they start to teach them in their Guru Parampara, in their Parampara. So when they start to teach, that means what? They went and further divide the Vedas so that it's easy to understand, easy to document. If not such a big book, they just make it all small, small, small. So easy to keep, easy to study, and easy to grasp. So what happened? Rig Veda was divided into 21 division. 21. So what are the four main divisions? That is Samhita, Brahmanas, Aranyaka, and Upanishad. Brahmanas and Aranyakas, what does these two mean? This means rituals, the ritualistic way of life. What are the rituals you should do? All right, all these things. So divided into 21. Yajurveda was divided into 100 division. Samaveda was divided into 1000 division. And Atharva Veda was divided into 9 version. What is Atharva means? Say like for instance, I think this is something new. When you look at all the 3 Vedas or some main Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sama. So after these 3 Vedas, the thing extra, in English we call ETC, etc. Okay, done line, in Malay we call DLL, dine, line, etc. So the 3 main Vedas was distinct, and everything that is etc. is called Atharva Veda. So Atharva. So that means it's etc. Okay, so this is the main thing, but the last one was Atharva. That is done line, other supplementary. All right, it was divided into 9. So total there are 1130 Samhitas, 1130 Brahmanas, and 1130 Aranyaka, and 1130 Upanishad. So total there are 4520 division, and of course it's further diluted, further made it further distinct. There are millions and millions and millions of verses and books and divisions. But unfortunately, when the Nalanda University was invaded by the Mughals, 70% of such literatures were destroyed and lost, either destroyed or lost. So that the one only survives is only the 30% now, what we are having. All right, so only the 30%. So what I'm saying is, so this is how that Vyasadeva has compiled. So what is that conclusion of all these things? To know God. And that is the summary given in Bhagavad Gita. All right, so today we're going to discuss on chapter 4, transcendental knowledge. Okay, let's start. So what are the things that we're going to understand from this chapter? Divya Gyan, through disciplic succession. Divya Gyan means transcendental knowledge. Divya means transcendental. Gyan means knowledge. Through disciplic succession. Why disciplic succession very important? What is Divya Gyan, first of all? About Krishna, how to attain God, Varnashram, approaching a Guru, glories of Divya Gyan. This is the overview of chapter 4. Let's look at 4.1. As usual, I will recite the verse. Then also you recite after I recite, but make sure that your computer, you're muted. Okay. So because it's very important to chant the verse, because this is the word that's spoken by Krishna himself, come from his lotus mouth. So the word of Krishna and he, there's no difference. So when we chant this word, we are also worshipping Krishna through sabda, through sound. All right. Okay, let's look at 4.1. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Imang Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam Vivasvan Manave Praha Manur Ikshvakave Bravit Imang Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam Vivasvan Manave Praha Manur Ikshvakave Bravit. So the personality of God, Sri Krishna said, I instructed the imperishable science. I instructed the imperishable science of yoga to the sun god, Surya Bhagavan, Vivasvan. And Vivasvan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind. And Manu in turn instructed to Ikshvaku. What does that mean? First of all, Krishna spoke this Bhagavad Gita initially to sun god, Surya Bhagavan. And that is roughly Earth years 1.2 million years, 120 million years ago. Okay, on Earth year calculation. Okay. So After he learned that, then he taught this imperishable science to Vivaswan. I mean to Manu. Who is Manu? Manu is the one in charge of the one who creates what they call human. Okay. All this is clearly mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, how the earth was created. Of course, it's not just simply by Adam and Eve was sent to that forbidden garden, and Satan said to eat that apple. After eat the apple, everything start to create, and Adam and Eve join, they created children, and their children, among them, they join, they create more children. That's how they created the humanity and all these things. It is something which is very primitive way of understanding. Of course, because the religion, we will also study this. Whenever and wherever there's a decline of religious process, I will descend, or I will send my people. Okay. So when we go to that people, when we start to teach them this kind of heavy, bombastic knowledge, they can't grasp it. So they just made it that way. But now in Vedas, how the thing started, first start with Brahma and how he created. Okay, we will also discuss as we go on, if time permits. So then we understand the person who in charge of Brahma created Manu, and Manu further created the species called Manusya. That's why we are known as Manusya. Okay, in Tamil we call Manushan. Then in English we call man, because we are descendant of Manu. Okay, and Manu in turn instructed to Ikshvaku. So from there start this Surya Vamsa, the Sun dynasty. So in that Sun dynasty, the most what they call the important person, I mean, in Sun dynasty is Lord Ram. Okay, so from him Ikshvaku, then after that he came to Dasaratha, and Dasaratha then comes what they call Ramchandra, and Ramchandra's children that they call Lavakusha. So that is the Parambara. Then the Krishna comes from Chandra Vamsa, the Moon dynasty. Anyway, so now he says that first he taught this to Vivaswan, because before that he said he's going to teach you, because Krishna is preparing Arjuna. So he said, now the thing that I'm going to teach you, okay, I'm going to teach you is something that I've spoke about it before to the sun god. Then after that Krishna continues, Evang parampara praptam, parambara praptam, Emang rajarshayo viduhu sa kalineha mahata yogo nasta parantapa. What he says, the supreme science was just received through the chain of disciplic succession. That means it come from the disciple, guru, disciple, no, or like that way. And the saintly king understood in that way. That is how all the saintly king, the Surya Vamsa, like Dasaratha, Ramachandra, all they understood in that way. Okay, because he comes under the Parambara. But in the course of time, the succession was broken. Okay, the Parambara was broken. Okay, and therefore the science as it appears to be lost. So Krishna is saying that it looks like the science has lost. Okay, then so he's telling this because he said, what I'm going to teach you is something lost that I'm going to I'm going to like spoke to you again. Okay, now let's look at this Parampara. When we discuss Parampara or the disciplic succession, Parambarai, in Tamil we call Parambarai. So we must understand there are only 4 authorized Parambara in this world. Other than these 4 authorized Parambara, others are considered bogus. You know what is bogus means? That means it's not real. It's the cheating process. Okay, because we must understand. Because we are speaking on Shastra, we are speaking on the topic of, we are speaking on this, what do you call? What Dharma? Sanatan Dharma. So Sanatan Dharma means, Sanatan Dharma is actually the eternal Dharma. So the eternal Dharma all comes through these 4 Sampradaya. Because unfortunately nowadays people, especially the Hindus, are not well informed. Okay, not well informed. So that's the reason. So now I would like to discuss about this, the original Parampara. Any knowledge should come from these 4 Parampara. If not, whatever other knowledge that doesn't come under this Parampara system, it's considered not true. So what are the first Parampara? Rudra Sampradaya, from Lord Shiva, Rudra Sampradaya. And who is that Acharya of Rudra Sampradaya is Vishnu Swami. Second is Kumara Sampradaya. Kumara is the sons of Brahma. Kumara Sampradaya. And who is the Acharya for that is Nimbarka Swami. Number 3, Sri Sampradaya. Sri Sampradaya that you see in South India. All right. They are very prominent in South India, where they put the one big tilak and with the red dot and the middle, not such a big one. Right. The Acharya is Ramanuja Swami. Okay. The fourth Sampradaya is Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. And the Acharya is Madhvacharya. And Madhvacharya is one of the branch is what they call Raghavendra Swami. You know the Raghavendra that Rajinikanth acted. So the Raghavendra Swami is part is one of the branch from this Madhva Sampradaya. Right. So now why they call Brahma Gaudiya? So Brahma Gaudiya means the knowledge that comes from Brahma, Lord Brahma. All right. And the Acharya is Madhva. And it is from Gaudiya. Gaudiya means Gaudadesh. Gaudadesh means our northern India, like from Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, Orissa. All these are called Gaudadesh. And we are called Dravidadesh. We are Dravidian, we are South Indian. And this is North Gauda, Dravida. All right. So Sampradaya. So that's the thing. But where do Madhvacharya come from? He is from Karnataka. He's also still southern. But what do you call this? But the Sampradaya is adopted in Gaudadesh. Okay. So this is the four original parampara, Sampradaya. And we should only accept knowledge from these four Sampradaya, or if at all we want to accept any kind of initiation, we only should accept from these four Sampradaya. Other than these four Sampradaya, others are imagination, which is almost the truth, but not the truth. So now let's see, we are from which Sampradaya? Our Sampradaya that we represent is the Guru Parampara of Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. All right. So first it started from Lord Krishna, and Krishna inspired Brahma through the flute, the what they call, when he plays the flute, the music. So what they call Sabda Pramana. Sabda means sound. Sabda, Sabda Pramana. The Sabda Pramana, he inspired Brahma. And Brahma started to create this world. But of course, he also spoke on very important Veda, which is considered the oldest Vedas among all, is Brahma Sanghita. So the Brahma Sanghita, everything was disappeared. They only found chapter 5. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found chapter 5 of Brahma Sanghita, which is the essence, which is a secret in Adi Rangana in Tirunelveli. There's one Tamarabharani river, Adi Keshava temple. Yes, he found that in Adi Keshava temple in Tamarabharani in South India, Tirunelveli. All right. So what are the famous verses? He says, chapter 5, text 1, Ishvara Paramakrishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Ishvara means controller. Sarva means everything. Ishvara means controller. Parama means supreme. So Krishna. So supreme controller is Krishna. Satchit Ananda. Sat means eternal. Chit means full of knowledge. Ananda means beautiful. Vigraha, body. He has such a beautiful knowledge and eternal body. Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam is the cause of all causes. So that's the thing. And from there he started to create this thing, create this entire creation. And his disciple is Narada Muni. Of course, nowadays in movies they make Narada as a joker. It's such a big offense. Narada is such a great devotee. All right. Formerly born into a family of Sudra. But eventually, by the mercy of all the Bhakti Vedantas, he became so elevated as a great Muni. Okay, they call Deva Rishi. So among the Rishi, he's a Deva, he's a supreme Rishi. All right. So Narada. So Narada's disciple is Vyasadev, the one who compiled these Vedas. And Vyasadev's disciple is Madhva. Just now we saw the Madhvacharya. So Madhva is Vyasadev's disciple. And Madhva's disciple is Padmanabha. He has many, but one of them is Padmanabha. And his disciple is Narahari. And his disciple is Madhava, Akshobhya, Jayatirtha. Like that, it comes under their disciple. Jnana Sindhu disciple is Dayanidhi. And his disciple is Vidyanidhi. His disciple is Rajendra, Jayadharma, Purushottama, Brahmanya Tirtha, Vyasa Tirtha, Lakshmi Padi, Madhavendra Puri, Ishvara Puri, and his and also Nityananda Advaita and Ishvara is Lord Chaitanya. Okay, And his disciple, Lord Chaitanya's disciple is Rupa Goswami, Swarupa Sanatana. Okay. His disciple is Raghunath Das Goswami, he is Jiva Goswami, Krishna Das Kaviraj, and his disciple is Narottama Das Thakur, and he is Vishwanath Das Chakravarti, and his disciple is Balavi Jagannath, Jagannath Swami, Jagannath Das Babaji, and his disciple is Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and his disciple is Gaura Kishore Das Babaji, his disciple is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, and his disciple is A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and his disciple is my spiritual master, Jaya Pataka Swami, and Jaya Pataka Swami disciple is me, Padita Tarna Jagannath Das. Okay, of course, my Guru Maharaj has so many disciples, including this one Mataji. Charana Lakshmi Mataji also is a disciple of Jaya Pataka Swami. And Prabhupada has many disciples. One of the disciples is what they call his famous disciple. What is his name? He's a guru for Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu. Vaishnava Kripa Das Prabhu. What? Janananda Goswami. All right, Janananda Goswami, who is a god brother to my spiritual master, and his disciple is Vaishnava Kripa Das Prabhu, which is here in the group, okay, in the class. So like that, it comes under the Guru Parampara. So why Guru Parampara is there? Whatever things that we're going to speak, whatever things that we're going to convey or express, it's all basically from the understanding and teachings of the Parampara. Nothing of my own opinion. All right. We're just going to follow. But the way of presentation is different, can be different. The way I present is different. But the message is that. So that's why this Bhagavad Gita comes under the Parampara system. And the commentary is also from the Parampara system. Nothing in between, created out of imagination. Let's look at 4.4. Now, Arjuna became bewildered again. Already Arjuna is under stress. Now he became bewildered again and says, Arjuna vacha aparang bhavato janma parang janma vivasvata katam eta vijaniyang Tvamadau proktavaniti aparam bhavato janma. Param janma. Param janma means the many birth. Vivasvata, who is what they call Surya Bhagavan. So Arjuna said, oh, the sun god Vivasvan is senior by birth to you. How am I to understand that in the beginning you instruct him the science to him, instructed this science to him? How am I supposed to understand? He's asking very humbly because he has surrendered to Krishna as a disciple. And he said, give me instruction. So now he's asking very humbly, my dear God, he said, sun God is so old, 120 million years ago, right? But you say that you teach him, but you are not as old as him. How to understand this? So 4.5, Krishna says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bahuni me vyatitani Janmani tavacha Arjuna Tanyahang Veda Sarvani Natvang Vetta Parantapa. The personality of God, it says, many births you and I have passed. All right, you and I have passed many births. But I can remember them all. But you cannot, O subdue of enemy. So what are the many births? We have taken all kind of births. Just name it. All right. So when we see what are the types of birth that we have taken, okay, there are 8.4 million species in total. Okay, species. And among them, there are 900,000 types of aquatics. Okay. Say like, for instance, when we take this fish has many species, varieties, right? So that means there are 900,000 types of aquatics. There are 2 million trees and plants, varieties, colors. There are 1.1 million insects and reptiles. There are 400,000 humans and humanoids, 400,000 types. There are 3 million mammals. There are 1 million types of bird. So in other words, my dear friends, my dear Prabhus and Matajis, we have passed through all these births. When you see a stool on the road and you see the worm inside, we have born that, we were that before. When you see a fly, we were that before. When you see a cockroach, we were that before. We were a snake, just name it. You go out and you start to see the plant, you see the one tree is like growing on On a roof, we were that before. We have passed through all these species of life. 8.4 million. Okay, but we don't remember them all. Imagine if you remember them all, we go crazy. All right, we don't remember them all, but Krishna says he'll remember that. Okay, so so these are the things. So we have gone through all these kind of species. Okay, and we are very fortunate in these births. We come to that level. Okay, we will discuss this as we go on. 4.7. So now what he says, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam sarjamyaham. So what is the reason Krishna says? Now he start to say why he actually came down here. And later, of course, in the universal form, he will tell the real reason. But now Krishna is indirectly giving a hint. He says that whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice or descendant of Bharata and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time, I will descend myself. So what is that? The decline of religious practice, that all the Kauravas and all these royal kings around the world becoming more and more rotten. So he came down, and predominant rise of irreligion. That means like betrayal, like what does Dhritarashtra did and Duryodhana all doing. So that time, Krishna is indirectly telling the reason why I descend. Okay, now think about it. Now, when you look at this thing, okay, we have passed through 8.4 million species, all varieties of species. But today, we finally get the chance to know God. So, I would always like to quote my Siksha Guru, His Holiness Radhanath Swami. He gave a fantastic analogy. He says, it took me 8.4 million lifetime to do what I am doing now. It took me 8.4 million lifetime to understand Bhagavad Gita, to know the real truth behind the Bhagavad Gita. Because when you look at Bhagavad Gita, there's more than 500 edition Bhagavad Gita out there. And most of the Bhagavad Gita edition was their own personal opinion. And the most terrible opinion, they say the person inside Krishna is speaking to the person inside Arjuna. They are that level of bogus. There's so many cheating Bhagavad Gita out there. And among all, this Bhagavad Gita is authentic because, of course, as I said, it comes under the Parampara system. And since 73 until today, there were more than 500 million copies distributed worldwide. And not only that, it's also translated into more than 70 languages. So one of the recent language they translated is Zulu, the African language. Zulu is also translated into Zulu. Just name it. Any Indian language, Mandarin, simplified, and another one is what? The original type of Mandarin. There's two types of Mandarin actually. The Mandarin that's spoken in Taiwan and the Mandarin spoken in China. Taiwan is traditional and China is simplified. We have both versions. Korean, Japanese, just name it. What language do you want? Indonesian language, Bahasa Indonesia. Okay. So that means we are very, very, very fortunate. Okay. Because we start to understand the truth. Okay. So finally we get a chance. So don't miss this golden opportunity. And again, Krishna continues at 4.8. He says, Paritranaya sadhunang vinashaya chaduskritam dharma sangstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Now this verse has become one of the movie, what they call, motivational thing. Suddenly one hero come and destroy all that nonsense flesh. I mean, in Tamil movie, or any of Hindi movie or whatever, Indian movie, there'll be one village full of gangsters and there's a notorious guy. From nowhere, one fellow will come and destroy everything. So after that, they'll start to sing this song. Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya chaduskritam dharma sangstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Of course, they are talking, there is very offensive to do that. But still they chant the Bhagavad Gita mantra, which is spoken by Krishna. Of course, there is benefit. Okay. So what is this mantra? What is this verse is all about? He says to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principle of religion. I myself appear millennium after millennium. So he appears or his expansion like Narsingadev, Ramachandra, Vamana, all these kind of things, they will appear. Sometimes they also do send their pure devotees. They empowered devotees like Lord Jesus Christ, Nabi Muhammad. All these are empowered. Because without this empowerment, they cannot convince the whole world. Sometimes we can't even convince our own children to follow our rules. What about world? So when a person can do that, that means these are not an ordinary people. They are empowered and empowered by the Lord. They can speak about God and they can convince them. So we should always respect Prophet Muhammad and, of course, Lord Jesus. Jesus Christ. Okay, we do not criticize. We do not deceive. We always offer respect and gratitude. Okay, so it's like that. 4.8. 4.9. Okay, what it says here? Janma karma chame divyang evang yo veti tatvataha yaktva deham punarjanma naiti mam eti so Arjuna. So now in this verse, what Krishna says, one who knows my transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again and in this material world, but attains my eternal abode. So that is why we are celebrating all their festival. Like for instance, we are celebrating Deepavali. The height of Deepavali festival is Damodara, where this little boy, Damodara, was caught and tied to the wooden mortar. Olakkaile kattapattavar. Why he got tied into the wooden mortar? Because he loved to go to the neighbor and start to steal their butter. The mother Yasoda will get very upset. He says, I have everything for you. I have the best for you. Why you want to go to the neighbor house and steal? But he has so much of pleasure stealing and eating. That's why he got a name of Makan Chor. Makan means butter. Chor means churi. Chor means thief. Right? So he got a name Makan Chor. So he just loved to go to his neighbor's house, break the pot. He and his elder brother Balaram. Balaram is very strong. So Krishna will rise on Balaram and Balaram just get up. He just pull the thing because they'll be hanging on the earthen pot will be hanging on the ceiling. He pull it down, he break and mess up everything and he start to eat the butter. And he call all his friends, monkeys, and tell them, hey, during my Ramachandra, you all did a great favor for me. Come, let me give you a feast. So he like to take all that butter and give to the monkeys and they mess up the whole house. Until the gopis can't take it, they come and complain. Oh my God, Mother Yasoda, your son is so naughty, break. He said, cannot be. How can that be? How can you call my son as a thief? See, I have everything here. I have the best butter, even better than what you have. And my son come to your house and steal. What are you talking? They said, no, let's catch him. So what happened? Mother Yasoda don't want to believe. So what they do? They make all that string with bells. They take all the bells and they start to tie all the pots. So when someone pull, the bell will be ringing so they can catch him. So then Arjuna and Balaram start sneaking in one of the gopis' house and start to see, wow. And he start to see the bell. My God. Oh, they tie the bell to catch me. And Krishna says, look here, dear bells, no one rings. Don't make me get caught. Okay? The bell says, okay. So what happened? He go up, he pull the thing, everything will fall down and the pot will break. The bell was not ringing. But when he took the butter and put into the mouth, all the bells start ringing, ring, 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 and he got caught. And he looked at the bell and said, how could you? He said, Krishna, during the offering to you, we have to ring the bell. When we do offering to Krishna, we don't simply put the food and say, Krishna, please accept. No, we close the altar and we ring the bell. Krishna loves to eat when the bell rings. That's what we did. We did our dharma. You put the food into the, we all start ringing. That's when Krishna will be caught. This Damodara, naughty boy, will be caught. And the mother will be so angry. He will catch him, put him on the big, what they call mortar, Olakkai, Ural. And he start to tie him. And that when he got eventually tied by Mother Yasoda, and that's a celebration we call the Damodara month, the month of Kartik. Why? Lord has been arrested by love. Can you imagine the Lord can be arrested by love? So when we remember all these pastimes, so that's why Deepavali we celebrate. And another reason for Deepavali is, of course, to see that Lord Ramachandra coming back from Ayodhya with Sita, the Pushpa Vimana. So he's like flying back. So the people were so upset. They were so angry. I mean, they were so sad that Lord Ram has left Ayodhya. So what do? They all be like living, they are all lamenting. They don't wear properly. They don't dress properly. All will be like a baron. So when they heard Ramchandra is coming back, they clear everything. They put all the lamp and everything waiting for this. So there's another festival, Deepavali, that Ramachandra is coming. But nowadays we are celebrating Deepavali with mutton and whiskey and having so much of fun and playing crackers and jumping, dancing here and there. So the things, okay, anyway. So the reason we are celebrating Deepavali, there's reason we celebrate Navaratri, the 9 days, the 9 days festival. The 9 day, the first 9 days, Ramchandra will be ready, getting ready. On the 10th day, Dushashra, what they call Vijayadashmi. That's the day that Ravana is killed. Like that, there are so many festivals we are celebrating just to remember the pastime of Krishna. Like on 26th of this month, Krishna Janmashtami is coming, where Krishna is born. He was born in the prison, and how the father Vasudev will take it, will bring it to he will bring to that to Vrindavan, to Nanda Maharaj. Okay, all these festivals. So all these we are celebrating in remembrance, because that's what Krishna says. He one who remembers my transcendental appearance and activities does not, when the time of death, take his birth again in this material world. That's why it's very important to celebrate all these things. So for that reason, we fast. We fast. All right, like Janmashtami, we fast from morning until midnight. Why we fast? Hey, it's supposed to be a celebration. Why we need to do fasting? Why? Because when you're fasting, you won't have any active activity. Because you are very weak. You won't actively involved. So only thing that you sit, you start to be weak and start to think about all the pastimes of Krishna. 410. Vitaraga baya krodha manmaya mam upashrita bahavo jnana tapasa puta madbhavam agata. So now Krishna says, being freed from attachment, fear and anger, being fully absorbed in me and take refuge in me, many people in the past become purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attain transcendental love for me. So now Krishna starts to give another introduction, synopsis. Okay, he says, freed from attachment, fear and anger. These are the worst things that can bind a man. We are not trying to, okay, let's not speak spiritually. Let's speak on health, in health related. Being very attached. That's when the problem starts. Attachment to the family, attachment to the house, attachment to this, attachment to that, attachment to the country. So when you are so attached to someone, when that person doesn't act, they turn back and do something else, we feel so betrayed. They betrayed, right? I'm so attached to my, say like for instance, I've seen, last time when I was young time, I love to go and visit the old folks home. And always I like to listen to them. Actually, my favorite question is, I ask, uncle, what went wrong? Where it went wrong? Okay. Always I'll ask that the final question, what went wrong? Why you end up here? All right. Some people are very frustrated. So these things, so say, oh, being attached or being, so all these things, attachment, they all create so much of trouble. Second is fear. When there's attachment there, the fear is there. All right. So if you look at this, what is fear? Actually, when you really think about it, there's nothing like fear. It's only a mental concoction. So FEAR, false evidence appearing real, fear. So when we are only become fearful, fear of what? Oh, I'm getting old. Fear of I'm going to die. All right. Say after you're 50, suddenly when you feel pain, oh my God, why I'm paining here? Oh my God, something is happening. Couldn't see a doctor. Suddenly my neck is sick. Oh, suddenly I have some bad dreams. Why bad dreams? Huh? Is there something? All these kind of fears will start to appear. But when we surrender to Krishna, okay, when we have this thing, we become fearless because we just don't care. We know this body that we are living in is temporary. No matter how nice or how terrible I take care, it's going to be temporary. So who cares? Okay, there's fear and anger. So whenever there's attachment and fear, and of course that when we are not treat well or our expectation is not met, the anger will arise. Okay. Of course, all this we will discuss in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna explains very nicely. From attachment, fear comes. From anger comes. From anger, the bewilderment of knowledge. We will study that, I think, in chapter 5, 6. I think if I'm saying chapter 4, chapter 6, they'll be also talking about it. Okay, anyway. So that means we give up all this, being freed. So how we can be freed? Only by two ways, by reading Bhagavad Gita and by chanting Hare Krishna. There's no other way we can free yourself. All right. Okay, then taking refuge in me. Then we take refuge. We become Krishna's. So then we say, Krishna, you are there to take care of me, everything. So many people in the past become purified. Okay, how the purification happened? By knowledge. Okay, and thus they all attain transcendental love for me. So because why Krishna is saying all this? Because he's going to start speaking Bhagavad Gita. So he's just giving a synopsis. So now let's look at that devotional service. So how the devotional service progresses. Okay, how the devotional service progresses. Number one, it starts with Shraddha, faith. Then from faith, we have a little faith. I mean, some or other you have a faith. Bhagavad Gita is good. I need to know. It's better to learn. And that faith, what happened? Faith increased through sadhu sangha. All right. That means, say, like now you have joined the class. So we are all having association with devotees. We are sitting and discussing not mundane matters. We are not discussing some kind of motivational stuff. We are discussing story about Krishna. So that means we are association with devotees. And through this association, what happened? Bhajana Kriya starts. That means performance of devotional service. Maybe some of you will start to take chanting Hare Krishna and also reading the Bhagavad Gita. Or you will be also sacrificing some of the money, that cash or whatever it is, for the sake of spreading or for the sake of engaging yourself in this spiritual life. Doesn't matter. Anything might have started. So devotional service starts. Then after devotional service becomes so perfected, you come to the place of anartha nivritti. Anartha means unwanted thing, unwanted attachment. All these unwanted things from yourself, from your intelligence, from the mind, all start disappearing one by one. And through that disappearance, we'll come to the next level, Nishta. So Nishta means steady. You become very steady in your steadiness in your thinking and also in your belief system and also in your sadhana. Once you become steady, that's when you start to have ruchi. In Tamil, we call ruchi, taste. All right, we have ruchi. That means we start to have taste. Okay, when you chant Hare Krishna, we feel like it's a kind of happiness, ruchi. Then after you get the ruchi, then you go to the next level, Ashakti. Ashakti means now attachment, new attachment starts. What attachment? Attachment to Krishna. And after all this attachment starts with all the practice, then you come to the level of Bhava, love. That's when your original constitutional position will start to reveal. All right? Then after love starts, then from Bhava, love, it goes to Prema. Prema means pure love. So once we achieve the Prema, the pure loving relationship with Krishna, that's when you start to understand your constitutional position. You start to understand your original self, all right, and your confidential relationship with Krishna. So once you come to the level of Prema, and that's when you go back home, back to Godhead. So this process can take, you can do it in this birth, or you can take 2 birth, 3 birth, 4 birth, or 5, even 10 birth. But of course, last verse we have, chapter 3 we have studied. Even a small attempt will save one from the greatest type of danger. All right. And what is the danger? To be born in the animal kingdom. So it's guaranteed you're not going to be born in animal kingdom, but you're going to progress. Say, like for instance, in this birth itself, you stop in Bhajana Kriya. Next birth, you're born again. What are you going to do? You're going to continue from Anartha Nivritti. Then after that, you go further, Nishta, steadiness. Then after that, you leave the body, you die. Then you're born again. Then you're going to start from Ruchi, taste. Then Ashakti. Then you die. Then you're born again. Then you start with Bhava and Prema. And then after that, you'll be never born again. You go back home, back to Godhead. But according to the Acharyas, according to Srila Prabhupada, and according to the understanding of Bhagavad Gita, okay, under the scrutinizing studies of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, even Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya says, if you make that decision, you can do it in this very birth itself. You can do it in this very birth. It's not nice to be born again. All right. So if you make the decision, you can even do it in this birth. That's why Prabhupada used to say, why not? You have gone through so many births. Why not just this one birth you give it to Krishna? After all, it's not loss. Nothing you're going to lose. Okay. So if at all, if you start to contemplate, how can I do it in this birth? Simple. Read your Bhagavad Gita and chant your rounds. Without these two process, there's no way you can go up in this ladder. They're not asking you to sit and meditate. They're not asking you to go into the jungle, sit under a tree on a what they call, on a deer skin and go into a mystic meditation. No, you don't need to. You just simply need to take your beats and start to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Do I need to give up all my bad habits? Not necessary. Do I need to become a vegetarian? Not necessary. Do I need to wake up early in the morning, brush my teeth before I chant? Not necessary. All right. Can I even chant while I'm busy? Yes, even if you're sitting in the toilet, you can see. But of course, don't bring your beats bags while you're sitting in the toilet, while you're eating, while you're bathing, while you're driving. You just need to call upon the name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. No rules, no regulation, no specific space. No. Just go on chanting the holy name. Because the internal potency will start to attract the most beautiful one, Krishna, and the reservoir of pleasure. Once you receive that, hey presto, your life becomes perfect. And pray to the spiritual master, pray to Prabhupada. So now he says, oh, I need to look for a spiritual master. Where am I supposed to look? This is what we're going to study now. All right. So let's look at 4.13. Chaturvarnyang maya shristang gunakarma vibhagasha tasya kartaram apimang vidya kartaram avyayam. Now Krishna is saying, so now according to the three modes of material nature, what is the three modes? Goodness, passion, and ignorance, which also will be very broadly discussed. Okay, material nature and the work associated with them. Okay, the fourth division of human society is created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer of being unchangeable. In other words, Krishna started this three mode of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. And through that, the combination, they created four division of job or work. Number one, when you look at this Brahmana teacher, he's in the mode of goodness, right? Now, second, you see Kshatriya, warrior. Who is warrior? The one in between the mode of goodness and mode of passion. He's a mixed thing. All right. He is a little goodness, more passion. Then from there comes to the Vaishya. Vaishya means the business people. They are very passionate. Of course, they have passion and they are passion with ignorance mixed. Okay. And goodness and passion. They have goodness and passion. Then after that, the four is Shudra, who is a laborer, and he is fully in ignorance. Okay. So that means through these three modes, four division is created. But even though I created all these, I am non-doer. I am not into any of this, Krishna says. 14:14. Now Krishna also says, Namang karma nilimpanti, name karma pale spriha, iti mangyo bijanati, karma birna sabhadyate. So now Krishna says, there's no work that affects me. Okay? There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. I do not need any fruits. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reaction of work. Okay? They also don't get entangled. Okay? Example like this. When you see a king visiting a jail, there's a prisoner, and the king come to the jail to visit the prisoner. Or say the king is visiting the prison. So when the king come and visit the prison, the king doesn't become a prisoner. Okay? He comes. So that means when you see the king is always in his royal throne, he's always in the palace. Okay? So similarly, when Krishna comes to this world, it doesn't mean that Krishna becomes a human being or become a conditioned soul like us. Because Krishna still remains as God. Even though the king goes to the prison, he still remains as a king. He goes to the prison, he doesn't become a prisoner. Okay. Now, 4:18. Now, let's look at this. Karmanya karmaya pashyet akarmani cha karmaya sa buddhiman manusyesu sa yukta krishna karma kret. So now it says one who sees action and inaction in action, and action in inaction is intelligent among men. And he is the transcendental position, and he's in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activity. Okay. So that means one who sees inaction in action. Okay. So that means a person who sees when a person is in action. Okay. Okay. One who sees inaction in action. How the things are. Okay. and action and inaction is intelligent among men. So that means when you start to see the people who are inaction, actually there's also action. That means being not doing anything is also doing something. You all understand what I mean? Okay. And the one who are doing something but also not doing anything is also doing something. So that means those who can make this kind of differentiate is called intelligent men. Of course, this 4:18 is quite detailed verse. We will discuss this maybe some other time. Okay, because this takes a lot of explanation. Okay, anyway, let's go to 24. Brahmarpanang Brahmahavir Brahmaknau Brahmanahutam Brahmaiva tena kantavyang Brahma karma samadhina. So Krishna says one who is fully absorbed in Krishna conscious is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom. See, he said, because what he says, what are the regulation Krishna himself says? What he says, one who fully absorbed in Krishna conscious is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom. Why? Because of his full contribution to spiritual activity. Contribution to spiritual activity means what? Actively involves. Like some people, they say, okay, every month I give donation enough. Okay, you have what program? Or Food for Life? Okay, Janmashtami, okay, I give you 10,000. Enough. Or program, okay, I do. But other than that, I don't involve in this activity. It doesn't work. We must understand. Okay, if any of you have that kind of thought or doing that, please think again. At the same time, when you see someone who are doing that, please do advise him. He said, no point just simply giving money. Because Krishna says in 4:24 very clearly, okay, absorbed in Krishna consciousness is sure to attain spirit because of his full contribution. Full contribution, full action in spiritual activity. Then he comes to temple. He worships the Lord. He offers food to Krishna. He dances in front of the Lord. He cleans the washroom or cleans the temple. There is some activities, okay, in which the consummation of absolute and that which is offered is to me at the same spiritual nature. So that means this is the spiritual nature that engaging active is important. 34. Tat vidhi pranipatena parapraniprashnena sevaya upagdeshanti te jnanam jnanina tattva darshana. Of course, in between Krishna, Arjuna spoke, but we are jumping, we are coming to this verse. Now, when we think about the secret and the art of going back to Godhead, how? Krishna says, if you know me, you engage in me, when you contribute your action to me and you've been absorbed in me, you will come to me. When you see the action and inaction, and in action, when you can see that the differences, you will come to me. All these things come. But the question is how? You're simply telling, but how? So that's why Krishna says very nicely in 4:34. He says, just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. We cannot attempt to do all this with our own effort or own intelligence. So why spiritual master? But before that, how you should approach a spiritual master? Inquire from him submissively, humble. You go to your spiritual master and submissively inquire. Then what? Render service unto him. Serve him. Okay. Now Krishna continues. The self-realized soul can impart the knowledge unto you. They can impart the knowledge unto you because why? They have seen the truth. So we need to go to the person who have seen the truth and learn from him, serve him submissively. Now we may have to ask a question, hey, where am I supposed to go look for a guru now? Where's guru? How am I supposed to know the guru is authentic? How can I serve him? Sometimes my guru is not around. My guru is traveling all over the world. How am I supposed to go serve him and ask him questions? So now, very fortunately, Prabhupada created this ISKCON in such a beautiful, wonderful way that the guru lives in this Bhagavad Gita. Okay? He lives here. Where he lives in this Bhagavad Gita? In purport. When you see the purport, Purulurai. When you see the purport is actually, Prabhupada is giving you instruction. And just by studying the purport, the knowledge can be imparted. So the guru lives in Bhagavad Gita. That's why Prabhupada, Bhagavad Gita as it is so perfect. We have Krishna, we have Radha, right? We have all that auspicious things, the 33 million devatas, everything is there, including the Acharya, the spiritual master, and even the commentary. The commentary is by Prabhupada. That's why Prabhupada says, when all the disciples were asking, dear Prabhupada, what happened if you leave the world? He says, I will never die. They say, huh? You'll never die? Yes, because I live in my teaching. All right? This material body can perish, but I go on living in my instruction. Okay, that's why Bhagavad Gita, that's why we say serve Bhagavad Gita, read Bhagavad Gita, worship Bhagavad Gita. That means you fulfill all these requirements. Once you're really ready, Krishna will send a living guru to you, and that guru will come, will accept you as the disciple, and that's when the process of getting link started. Okay, until then, just study and worship Bhagavad Gita. 435. Yajnatvana punarmoham evam yasyasi pandava yena bhutanya sheshani rakshyasyatmanyato mai. So Krishna continues, he says, having obtained real knowledge, what is the advantage? Well, okay, I obtained the real knowledge. So what can I do? Okay, from whom you should obtain the real knowledge? From a self-realized soul. We must understand. Check again, if you have a guru, are they fulfill this criteria or not? Having obtained the real knowledge from a self-realized soul. And that soul comes from a parampara system. When you have that, you know what is the advantage? You will never fall again into such illusion. It's enough we have been illusion. After 8.4 million lifetime, today I got a chance. My illusion is dispelled. So when you have such a guru, you will never fall again. Or for by this knowledge, okay, what is the advantage? You will also see that all living beings are but part and parcel of the Supreme. So that's when you start to see even chicken, goat, and everything is all part of the Supreme. Of course, we discourage you from taking meat. Eating meat is no good. You are eating a carcass, dead body. Eating an egg means you are eating what they call the karuvu, what they call in English, and karuvu, ovary or something like that, right? So eating all this food, actually, the food is full of violence, because the goat and the chicken not so happy. They doesn't sing, ooh la la la, kill me and eat me. No, it screams in anxiety. It screams and cries. But of course, the tongue is very powerful. So we are not asking you to give up vegetarian, become vegetarian, or stop drinking, whatever. We are not telling you to do that. But I am telling you to take up the process. In that process, eventually you get a higher taste. When that higher taste comes, and through the understanding, the desire, the thought, all will go away from you naturally. Once the thing gone naturally, it will never come back to you rest of your life. If you're not going to do it, if you're trying to refrain and still thinking about that, you're only pretending. Krishna said that in chapter 3. We have studied that, right? The person who restrained by the same time contemplate on that subject is called a pretender. So we don't want pretender. All right. It's rather you just carry on with what your life, but add on chanting your Hare Krishna Mahamantra, add on reading your Bhagavad Gita. When this takes over yourself, the others will just go by itself. See, the darkness is there, right? Oh, the thing is dark. We cannot do anything with that. See, I don't have a torchlight, I don't have a lighter, I don't have anything, and I'm stuck in a very dark place. I'm stuck in the wilderness. Say you are somewhere in the so dark. What can you do? You cannot pretend, oh no, I'm looking for thee, because wherever you go, you're going to tumble and fall. You're going to hit and fall and hit your head and rock or die there. You don't know, you can't even see yourself. You're so stuck, it's so dark. So what can I do? Just wait for the sunrise, that's all. Let the sun rise in the morning, then I know what to do. So similarly, I have all these kind of habit. So don't try to artificially stop and control it. Add on chanting Hare Krishna. Add on reading Bhagavad Gita. When this thing comes, the sun will rise in your life from the east. From the dark far horizon, the sun will start to rise and you will get enlightened. And in that enlightenment, all that anarthas, just when we saw the process, all that unwanted things will just go. As how when the sun comes, the darkness just disappear. Right? When the sun arises, the darkness just disappear. You'll be wondering, like now the sun has rise. I cannot find, hey, where's darkness? I can't find any darkness. Because when there's a sun, there is no darkness. So that's the thing. So Krishna says, so for these knowledge, you will see all living beings are part and parcel of the Supreme. All right, you start to see anything, everything belongs to Krishna and everything is Krishna. Because because Krishna is a Paramatma even living in them. Okay. Or in other words, Krishna said very clearly that they are mine. All right. Now, 36. But now Krishna gives another very inspiring. Krishna gives another very inspiring statement here. Apiche dasi papebhya sarvebhya papa kritama sarvebhya, all kind of papa. Sin. Sarvang jnana plavenaiva virjinang santarishyasi. Krishna says, even if you are considered to be the most sinful of all sinners. What is that sin? What is that horrifying sin? The top 10 sin, the top 3 sin. The worst sin a man can perform is abort a child, abortion. Killing the child in the womb is the most notorious, horrifying sin. Child abortion. What is that? Another sin. Second in the row, killing a cow. What is that? What is the sin of killing a cow? Every fur in the cow's body, a person has to be born and get killed. Then we say, the fella kill only, I eat only. But no, the killing of the cow, the sin is shared by 6 people. The one who approves the killing, like the veterinarian doctor. Number 1, the fella who transport. Number 2, the guy who transports the cow. The guy who rears and transport. Number 3, the guy who kills it. Okay. Number 4, the guy who sells the meat. And number 5, the guy who cooks the beef. And number 6, the guy who eats it. And all 6 will share karma on an equal level. All right. And what is number 3? All right. Okay. Number 3. All right. So some of the notorious karma is like illicit sex, extramarital affair. Okay. Even Lord Jesus says in one of the 10 commandments. Can you imagine in 10 commandments? All right. I think the 3rd commandment, Jesus says very clearly, when you look at a woman in a lusty way, is considered you have done adultery. Thou shalt not look at a woman in a lusty way. For doing so, you are considered performed adultery. Just by looking at the girl. Say when you see a sexy girl, wow, look at the girl, so beautiful. Look at her up and down, finish. But what to do in Kali Yuga? They take all the women, beautiful women, and in the skimpy dress, they put it on a big white, what they call billboard. And everybody says, wow, look at that, look at this. So it's considered adultery. So anyway, all these sins. So can we control ourselves? Of course. Oh, say like, okay, now you may think, oh my God, I might have done it before. I might have aborted a child before. I might have eaten beef before in my life. All right. I should have eaten steak or cheeseburger. I should have looked at a woman in a very lusty way. I should have, I had some extramarital affairs. When young time, before marriage, I had many girlfriends. And after I got married, I'm not happy with my wife. I start to have many other kind of relationship. Yes. What am I supposed to do? So Krishna says, even if you're considered to be the most sinful of all sinners, when you are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, when you accept Bhagavad Gita, because Bhagavad Gita is transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of misery. Because due to your sin, you're going to suffer horribly, guaranteed. But now you have taken this boat of Bhagavad Gita, you will be able to cross. So what we understand from here, Bhagavad Gita do not see, the Bhaktas, the Vaishnavas, the devotees do not see what were you in your past. They are looking at the possibility and the potential, what you can be in the future. Because in Kali Yuga, every one of us are somehow or rather polluted. Now, my dear friends, think about it. How many of your friends or relatives or whoever it is might have done this kind of sin. Aborting a child, now becoming very common. 3 child, the 4th is accident, abort. It's okay, nothing. Just take one tablet or what, the child dies. Just think how many of the people that should have done that. You should know. How many of the people had extramarital sex life? How many of the people? Now, you can do them a favor. Encourage them to take up Bhagavad Gita and sign them up for the September class. I'm going to do this again in the month of September. Because this is 18 days program, 18 to 20 days. Then September, I'm just looking at the date and time because the school holidays are coming and everything. I'm planning. So I just want to do again. At that moment, you should become the ambassador for the Bhagavad Gita and encourage everybody. You should come and listen to this guy at least. Okay. Be the good Samaritan. But of course, Krishna in the heart will inspire them. You do your job without expecting any result. Oh, I give you a Bhagavad Gita, you must read Bhagavad Gita and you must attend the class. We don't have that kind of thought. My job is to give you a Bhagavad Gita, but of course, speak with conviction. You know something, you go here, it's beautiful, you must know. But whether they want or not, it's leave it to the Lord. All right? Because this is what very, very important. They say, can we have atonement to the sin? How the atonement to the sin? The atonement to the sin is, we go to the Ganga, Yamuna, we have to go and see. But here the atonement is just by studying Bhagavad Gita. But sometimes when you do atonement, you know what happened? It's just like elephant bath. Oh God, please forgive me. I've done all these nonsense things. I'm not going to do this anymore. Please, 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 please. All right, you atone. All right. Then after atonement, after you bathe and everything, you come back to Malaysia, suddenly your mind can get attracted. Suddenly you see somebody just, hey, like come back to you from your old past life and you fall back into that ditch. Because we must understand we are all conditioned. We can never attain perfection. We can never attain perfection. Just like sometimes when you see in every Sunday, they go and make a confession. Dear Lord, I've done all this sin for this week. Please forgive me. You are forgiven. Then after the Sunday you go every Saturday night, have a Saturday night fever. Sunday go and confess. Monday you do all this nonsense. Come back Sunday and ask for atonement again. It's just like elephant taking a bath. After bathing, you take the sand, soil and put on his head. But when we go and engage ourselves by reading and chanting, that's why I'm telling you, let the higher taste come. If not, your attempt is only pretending. And that person lives in vain. Remember, last chapter we have studied. So chant and read. We are not asking you to give me money. We are not asking you to do some kind of ritual. We are not asking you to put some fire, burn some big campfire, right? We are not asking you to do this, do that. No, we are just asking you to read Bhagavad Gita and chant Hare Krishna. Isn't that the simplest way? It doesn't cost you any money. If you need a Bhagavad Gita, tell me. I have 500 ringgit worth of donation. I can give you the Bhagavad Gita for free. The people around here, they have donated. But if you think you like to donate, also you can just proceed. You can just come forward and donate. Because I know so many people out there are hungry for book, but they can't afford it. But now I just open the offer here. But of course, in the future class, when the people are, I will send them the book and here in Ipoh, everything I'm just doing. And through this, in 2021, I distributed 5,400 Bhagavad Gita, 200 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam, and mostly fully sponsored. People bought Bhagavad Gita as cheap as 1 ringgit. Right? People donated. They do Sastra Dan. Right? These are the things. So what we are saying, the atonement is chant your Hare Krishna and read your Bhagavad Gita and don't even think about it whether you atone or not. Because Krishna says, don't expect any result. Just do your job. Isn't that true? Just do your job. Just read, just chant, and don't worry whether my sins goes off, whether I'm going to go to hell or whether I'm going to go to heaven. Don't bother. Because that's what Krishna wants you to do. And what Krishna says, take refuge in me. Once we take a refuge in him, we have no worries at all because we know Krishna will look after it. 39. Shraddha vallabhate jnanam tatpara sangyatindriya jnanam labdva parang shantim achire nadi gacchati. A faithful man who is dedicated to transcendental knowledge. So we are just asking you to get dedicated to transcendental knowledge. What is the advantage? And who subdues his senses. Through this strength, you'll be able to subdue your senses and eligible to achieve such knowledge. Okay? And is eligible to achieve such knowledge. And having achieved it, he quickly attained the supreme spiritual peace. All right? All these things is possible at the comfort of your own home. So in East Bengal, there's a story. There was a Brahmana named Tapan Mishra. He was confused after reading many Vedic literature regarding the conclusion of the means to achieve liberation. He approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and sincerely inquired from him to clear his confusion. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that in Kali Yuga, one cannot achieve perfection of life by being a bookworm. Study all the Vedas only, but don't do anything else. You can never achieve perfection. Okay. One can attain salvation only by chanting the holy name of Krishna. The Shastra recommend Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nastyeva, 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 Gadir Anyataha. What does it mean? In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, Kali Yuga means quarrel and hypocrisy. The only means of deliverance is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way, there's no other way, and there's no other way. So that is what Lord Chaitanya said to him. So now take this formula, RDC formula. This is one of the best formula that you can that I can think of. Read Bhagavad Gita daily. D means distribute Bhagavad Gita, because you start to see people around you. You can start to reflect. They all need this Bhagavad Gita for atonement at least, and chant Hare Krishna. If possible, chant Hare Krishna 16 rounds. It's only going to take 1.5 hours of your lifetime. And this chanting alone, and of course, chant without expectation, because Bhagavad Gita asks you to do so. Don't expect, just simply take the beats and just chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Just do for 16 rounds. Just spend 1.5 hours, your exclusive appointment with the Lord. And through that, you can achieve a fantastic transformation. Right? So with that, we end the session. Is there any questions, any comment? I think there's a question. Prabhu, we passed through 8.4 million species and had more than 8.4 million rebirth, probably 100 million rebirth or more. Exactly. What he says is right. 8.4 million species, 8.4 million is one round. Like that, we have gone through many rounds. We have taken 100, 200 rounds. Okay, I'll give you one good example. Brahma lives 100 years. So far, Brahma has gone through 50 years of his life. The 50 years age Brahma is equivalent to 165 trillion 20 billion Earth years. Like that, that means this is the day of Brahma. We have gone through all these for the 165 millions of birth we have gone through. So now only we start to have that understanding. What you say is right. So through every birth, we have accepted many kind of experience, many kind of karmic reactions, a lot of things. So the only way to, I mean, don't think about all that. If you're going to think about all that, you're going to have a sleepless night. Okay. That's why, because Arjuna was having a sleepless night, he's having a great anxiety, stress. So Arjuna is speaking, Krishna is speaking Bhagavad Gita, but if you really look at it, actually Krishna created the scene for us. Arjuna is asking question on behalf of us. All right. So tomorrow we're going to discuss on chapter 5. It's another interesting chapter. Karma Yoga in Krishna consciousness. All right. It's going to be very interesting. You start to realize as we go on every chapter, the intensity and the excitement and that revelation will be more and more sweeter, more and more pleasurable, more and more satisfying to your senses and also satisfying to your intelligence. All right. So is there any other question? So Sadguna Mataji, this is the same link that we're going to use every day for Monday program, because I think you like, no, sorry, for morning program. Because I heard that you have a tuition or something like that, right?
Yes, Prabhu. I'm happy with this link. Morning.
Yes. But a Sunday break is on, morning break is on Sunday.
Okay, good. Because I got some other link on Sunday.
Okay. Because Sunday we have to go to this temple for Sunday program, and the evening program break is on Thursday. Okay. Just this thing. Did Skandabalan Prabhu sent you the link to join the group?
Yeah, this is the link he has sent.
No, the link to join our WhatsApp group.
Yeah, I think yes, sent. I didn't see yet. Yes.
You join that WhatsApp group because the recording and everything will be posting there.
Oh, okay, good. Hare Krishna,
Yeah.
definitely, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Where you're from, Mataji? Are you from Sramban also?
Raman.
Sramban. Right, nice. Okay, so is there any other question? Any comment?
No comments. Very good. Your explanation is fantastic, Prabhu.
Oh, thank you,
I'm
Mataji.
learning more.
I'm just repeating what I've heard, what I've learned from my spiritual master. Nothing of this is my own opinion.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhu.
So, okay, if there's no question, we end the session here. We meet
Yeah.
again evening
Meeting. Yes. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
or tomorrow morning, chapter 5. Okay, because your class, chapter 5 will be tomorrow morning. And of course, tonight, we're also doing chapter 5 for the evening session. So, till we meet again, Vancha Kalpatrubhescha, Kripa Sindhuvevacha, Paditanam Pavinibhyo, Vaishnavebayo Namo Nama. Hare Krishna and have a
Hare
good
Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.